better to be thought of as stupid than to open your mouth and remove all doubt. Dale Dennis Jr., David Dennis Jr., who, according to my guys, Nick and Nick, said, who probably never got laid in high school, claims fans of Caitlin Clark are using her to express disdain for black women. All right. Okay. Whatever you say, man. That's a new one. Of course, Monica McNutt, she has to chime in because, well, she just has to. Currently, Monica McNutt is somebody we're supposed to pay attention to. And, of course, governors must chime in. The governor of Virginia. Anyway, let's start where? Let's start with David Dennis Jr., a guy that is brought on to ESPN and a thing called Anscape to tell us how the world really is. Because everything's racist. Dakich, you're racist. You're wearing a black shirt. Well, wearing a black shirt means you're racist. What are you trying to say? I don't know. Well, your shirt, yeah. Well, if you're wearing a white shirt, you'd really be racist. What are you wearing, a hood? I mean, the idiots that have shined through in the Caitlin Clark world are, well, they're amazing. It started here locally with the idiot that shined through the brightest, the great Greg Doyle, who couldn't hold his pee-pee in his pants, apparently, or had to be a creeper around her. And, of course, others have followed suit. But this guy, of course, is saying that people are showing their disdain for black women. I don't give a damn about black women. I think people are showing their disdain and talking the truth about what the WNBA has always been. An angry African-American white lesbian league. Yes, I said white because there have been a lot of great white players in the league. I mean, let's not act like all the criticism about the WNBA is directed at the African-American crowd. White women are catching it too because they're all a part of it. In particular, white women that are on the board that kept Caitlin Clark off. Now, this is one of those, I don't know, one of those issues that I'm kind of on the both sides with. Should Clark have been there? Sure, she should have been there. Was she kept off because she's not good enough? Yeah, probably. I get both sides of this, but the petty jealousy directed at her is something that we, at least my wife, knew was coming. But the anger, and I wouldn't even call it anger, just the truth talking about the WNBA isn't about black women. It isn't about lesbians. It isn't about white women or straight women. It's about any of that. It's about all of it. It's about all of the people involved in a league that begged, bitched, whined, and moaned about, look at me, talk about me, show up at our games, buy our tickets, and the product was crap. But I get it. I get it. If you're David Dennis Jr., who never played a sport, and according to my Knicks, never got laid in high school, you got to make it about race because that's what you're there for. Apparently his dad was a civil rights leader, so by proxy, he gets to be a civil rights leader. The problem here is, and what concerns me going forward, this is always beautiful to me. What concerns me going forward, well, good, stand in a corner over there and be concerned, is those people on the fringe that do exist who are in real life, not just internet trolls, politicians, pundits, and people of the like, who are using Caitlin Clark as an avatar to lash out at the people who they have disdain for, mainly the makeup of the WNBA and black women. They are using her to go against Team Indiana. What's going to happen? The big tragedy here is the way they are treating by those people this summer. Yeah, who cares? Yeah, this is about black, white, green. This is about the entire WNBA and them being bitching, whining, moaning about, look at me. And now they got a chance to look at me, and they're all acting petty and stupid. And it ain't just black women, it's all women. And it's men, too. I said this before. I just said it. Men don't know how to act around Caitlin Clark. Men have helped run the WNBA. There are those in the WNBA that are bitching, whine, and moaning. And I just love saying bitching, whine, and moaning. It is my favorite saying when I was coaching. Cut your bitching, whining, and moaning out. Seems redundant. But anyway, bitching, whining, and moaning about all of it. Now, again, they have the cash cow. Ratings are up. Everything's up because of Caitlin Clark. And it just pisses the lunatic fringe off. It does. And then, of course, everything has to be about race because, well, what else do these guys have? All right. Yay, right. You go, David Dennis Jr. If it concerns you and you're really upset about it, go sit in the corner. Who gives a rat's ass? Well, it concerns Monica McNutt. Now, here's an interesting take on Monica McNutt. This is by Alberta Parrish, who's really smart on Twitter. ESPN analyst Monica McNutt recently appeared on the Jon Stewart Show to discuss why she doesn't like the noise being generated around Caitlin Clark and makes it known that she doesn't want Caitlin's fans following the WNBA. Honestly, and this woman follows college athletics, honestly, I knew weeks ago that these WNBA gatekeepers and players were jealous of Caitlin's fandom. My wife knew that, didn't like her fans, and by extension, this would be the largely Middle America, Iowa fan base, which NBA gatekeepers like Monica McNutt are trying to isolate and separate from Caitlin Clark herself, and really wish Clark would condemn her own fan base due to their own animus towards core values. towards core values that Iowa and Clark have. The WNBA gatekeepers and many players, vets, aren't truly fan-friendly. Boy, is that true. Oh, which is also be the reason why the W doesn't care for fan bases in the Bible Belt. Now we know why the W has been a failing league for 2 decades as it relates to revenue, game attendance, viewership ratings, fan interest, lack of public support. The WNBA, is intolerant of other people's views, especially Middle America. It's either their views that you have to agree with, or they don't want you as a fan. Boy, is she right about that. And by the way, Alberta's an African-American woman. Boy, is she right about that. I mean, these women are pissed. Here's a straight white girl with religious views, or actually not even religious views, just handles herself well, with a massive fan base. And now all of a sudden, people are paying attention that don't necessarily support the lesbian views of the overly lesbian league. Support Middle America, family views. If you watch the WNBA, the players are awful. They're literally like NASCAR drivers. NASCAR drivers are the worst. NASCAR drivers are the absolute worst. The worst. They used to be fan-friendly. Now they're not. WNBA players are. And these people hate that Caitlin Clark goes out of her way to say nice things. They hate that Caitlin Clark goes out of her way to sign autographs. It makes them crazy. Nuts. Because they don't want to do it. They don't want to do it. They look at Caitlin Clark, and they're like, this is nuts. All right, someone named Monica McNutt, who played basketball at Georgetown, who has become a spokesman. Let's hear from Monica McNutt.
And the prevailing narrative that has been created around this season's WNBA play is that it's the league versus Caitlin Clark. And that is just absolutely false. It is unfair to the women that have been there building this league to this moment so that Caitlin Clark's popularity could take it to the next level. And so while Caitlin is fantastic and I think she's going to have an incredible career in the WNBA, there are women that were worthy of coverage prior to her, right?
Right.
I would hope, and I know this is not a thing in sports, we got to remember that 2 things can be true. Right? She's been great for the league, but there were 144 women prior to her and this class that had gotten this thing up to year 28.
Right.
There were women in this league that were worthy of coverage. Well, why didn't they get covered? Racism, sexism. No, they're horrible. No, I'm just telling you. None of them came off well on TV. Look at the Asia Wilson interview back a few weeks ago with Becky Hammon and how immature she was. Look at that big Cardosa girl sitting up there with Angel Reese when Angel Reese was they were after a game, and the girl's doing her hair. They have been immature. They have been angry. They have been nasty. Diana Taurasi is like the poster child for it. Maybe she's a great gal in person. I don't know. But is there ever been anything where Diana Taurasi has been anything other than sullen? Look, if you are a niche fringe sport, then you got to have a personality. I mean, let's be honest. OutKick is not ESPN, although because of all the personalities on here, it's growing faster than ESPN. We don't have the power yet. We will. But it's all based on personality and teamwork. They've never had that in the WNBA. Why? My wife told you why. The WNBA and women in general in sports are catty. Think about what that woman there just said. There were women here worthy of coverage before Caitlin Clark. The question becomes, why weren't they covered? Well, because they're black. No. No. Every other sport has black athletes that are over-covered. No. At some point, the WNBA must look itself in the eye instead of placing blame over here. David Dennis Jr., Monica McNutt, and everybody else needs to look at it realistically, not through the obvious and easy and profitable lens of race. If you look at it realistically, you realize these women were unlikable. I mean, go back and look at press conferences. Unlikable. Diana Taurasi, unlikable. Not one certain. Now, I think she's probably very nice, but Brittany Griner, unlikable. Just totally unlikable. Doesn't have anything to do with her race. Doesn't have anything to do with her sex or her sexual proclivities. Unlikable. That's what they really need to look at. I mean, if you were going to really break it down and be a human being, not a race baiter or a jump to conclusion guy or gal, you'd realize, yes, there were 144 women before Caitlin Clark. And nobody gave a rat's ass about any of them. Why? Product wasn't very good. Nobody resonated. Bunch of women under the basket falling down. Why? It's the same thing with NASCAR. NASCAR was great when it started. Now, the difference between NASCAR and IndyCar is night and day. IndyCar drivers are great, accessible, fun, interesting. NASCAR drivers are corporations. NASCAR's going to hell. WNBA was going to hell. Caitlin Clark saved it. I want to hear about this draft class. Caitlin Clark saved it. The governor, we got to have a governor chime in. You know this. Glenn Yorkin of Virginia, he chimes in.
What did you think when you saw that story as a former basketball player?
Yeah, I think it's really crazy. I mean, at the end of the day, nobody can deny the fact that she has completely transformed fans' interest and enthusiasm for women's basketball. And I just want to illuminate on this Mystics fact that you just went through. The normal home arena for the Mystics seats 4,200 people. And Caitlin Clark comes to town, and they sell out the arena, they move it to the main Capital One that seats 20,000 people, and they sell it out. I mean, let me be honest, the Wizards weren't selling out. And so that's all Caitlin Clark. Listen, she deserves a spot on the team. This isn't a knock against any of the other players. They're all fabulous players. But there have been rookies who have made the Olympic team before. Diana Taurasi made it, and Candace Parker made it as rookies. She can make it as a rookie. She is transforming women's basketball, and she should have a spot on the team.
Yeah, I go both ways on it. I do. I'm sorry. I go both ways on it. I mean, I see why you put her on. I see why you don't put her on, but I don't think it was racism or sexism. I think it's pure jealousy. And you know what? Caitlin Clark caught a break. I mean, who in the hell wants to hang out with that crew? But I would do this if I was NBC. I said this way before anybody else. You can go to the tapes. The minute I heard that Caitlin Clark was not going to be on the Olympic team, I said NBC should hire her for the Olympic broadcast. Not necessarily basketball, everything. Most popular woman athlete in the world, have her cover some women's sports. She's personable. She's attractive, well-spoken. I'm in. Of course, Mina Chimes, who speaks millennial and really nothing else, but oh my God, she's so good. She's an idiot. At least what I saw. I mean, she did one breakdown of a team I pay attention to, and it couldn't have been dumber. But anyway, Mina Chimes throwing her hat in the Caitlin Clark ring, giving her take on the outrage that surrounds her in the WNBA. A lot of people are reacting to the reactions at this point, not the stuff that's actually happening. Okay, Mina, talk to us. Speak millennial to me, baby.
My point is everybody's looking at this like one incident and then like using it to paint a broad brush in whatever direction they want to go with. You say Caitlin Clark gets the benefit of her identity from a marketing promotion standpoint. There are people who say by leading with that, you're discounting her skills as a basketball player.
Yes.
But then if you don't acknowledge it, people correctly will say, well, you're ignoring something that is just fundamentally true. I guess my point is like everybody is right.
And wrong.
It's about the same.
Right.
It seems perfectly calibrated to piss off everybody because there's so many things that are true at once. If you're like me and you get that For You page, it's not even just like, here's the clip. I'm saying I'm being fed outrage on both sides. And whoever you are, if your consumption of that is not just the clip or whatever, or the entire game rather, but rather a tweet saying, look at these thugs, or conversely, a tweet saying, oh, everybody's going to protect this white girl, whatever, of course you're going to be inflamed. And I think that's the problem. I mean, that's one of the many problems with this story that's already, as we've been talking about, calibrated to anger a lot of people, is their consumption of it is through the lens of these extreme reactions, which are only stoking, like, a lot of people are reacting to the reactions at this point and not the actual stuff that's happening.
That's just stupid. Honest to God, the more I hear of Mina Chimes, the dumber she is. I mean, she's got a platform, and you guys, oh my God, she's just ridiculous. She has no idea what she's talking about. Like, I don't mean like doesn't know the subject. She's just spewing words, and the idiot interviewing her is going, right, oh yeah, right, really? Put a transcript of that up. That's the same shit she does all the time, and you all tell me there was a bidding war for that? There was a bidding war between networks for Mina Chimes to say what right there? And then throws in a couple cuss words so she acts like she knows what. This is moronic. Like, honest to God, I've never paid attention to Mina Chimes until she tried to come at me on Twitter and told us we should all be really impressed by Shane Steichen's 9-8 record. I mean, she literally does not know her ass from third base, what she's talking about here. Now, I'm sure she's bright. I'm sure if she slowed down and gave a little bit of attention to it before she went on some clown's podcast. Hey, do we have any idea what podcast that was? Honest to God. Like, I'll give you a text from my guys here. Pablo Torre, perfect. You get Pablo Torre, Israel, whatever the hell his name is, Mina Chimes in a room, and you got a whole lot of diverse stupid. Here's what my guy said. She's spewing enough bullshit just to hear herself talk. I don't even think she knows what she's talking about. No idea. You think Pablo Torre is going to say, hey, Mina, what did you just say? Like, I have a tendency to listen. I wanted to hear what this clown had to say. Oh, my God. She has become Camilla Harris. She is. She's the Camilla Harris of sports. Now, I'm sure she'll have a little comeback that'll be really smart. Good. Do whatever you need to do. However you want to paint it, but Jesus, she a dumbass. This is my first time paying attention to Mina Chimes after she was on an idiotic thing about the Colts. So I'm like, huh? Oh, geez, I get it, man. DEI, baby. Joey Chestnut, out. I don't think he's going to be out of the 2024 Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest. Watch what my guys did here in a beef over his partnership with Impossible Foods. This is anti-American. Let me tell you how I feel about the Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest. I watch it every 4th of July. If I'm not watching, I'm setting my dial. As we used to say before, VCR. Yeah, that's right. VCR, TiVo. Remember those? On. Maybe my Betamax in the back room. On. Because I like it. I think it's so damn hokey. It's absolutely glorious. Seriously, absolutely glorious. So here's the deal. They got to get something worked out. Because back in the day when this thing got popular, they had Kobayashi and Jaws Chestnut. They were going at it, back and forth. World records. Well, guess what? Major League Eating. That's right, I said it. The Major League Eating League. They ain't happy because Chestnut is gone vegan. He's promoting Impossible, which I like, actually. I go over here to Fox Garden Family, and I like the Impossible Burger. Don't at me about it. But I don't know about Impossible vegan hot dogs. I'll tell you why I don't know. I'm from Northwest Indiana, a.k.a. South Side of Chicago, and we like us some hot dogs. We have total respect for the dog. We pride ourselves on Chicago dogs, Vienna Red Hots, with a little bit of snap. Not these crap vegan. No, won't have it. Can't have it. You put peppers in there. You put some pickles in there, some sweet relish. You got yourself a D-O-double-G, you see. Anyway, Joey Chestnut, perennial winner of the annual July 4th Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Competition, is out. of this year's beef barf over a deal he made to represent a different wiener brand. This from the New York Post. And not just any brand, but Impossible Foods, which recently launched a vegan Frankfurter imposter made from planets. I can see Pablo Torre and Mina Chimes and Stugatz and all the other little woke douchebags over at ESPN or wherever the hell Lebitard is. I could see them all sitting around eating vegan, telling each other how important they are. A rep for the MLE, Major League Eating League, which Nathan sanctions to run the event, said the organizers bent over backwards to meet Chestnut's version, various other demands. They even agreed to let him participate in a rival Labor Day dog-eating fest to be taped by Netflix as long as no hot dog brand was mentioned. I can't have this. I'm sorry. For nearly 2 decades, we have worked under the same basic hot dog exclusivity provisions. But it seems that Joey and his managers prioritize a new partnership with a different brand over our longtime relationship. Joey Chestnut is an American hero. We would love nothing more than to have him at Nathan's famous international hot dog eating contest. We hope he returns when he is not representing a rival brand. I understand. Again, I do. $200,000 is what Joey makes to show up at that event. Apparently, there was going to be a 4-year, $1.2 million deal in place. All right. Look, you can't have Nathan's hot dog eating contest without Joey Chestnut or Kobayashi. You can't name me another big-time eater. Joey Chestnut lives just over here in Westfield, Indiana. By all accounts, Joey Chestnut's a great dude. Every event that he goes to, people are like, man, what a great dude. He does a lot of shrimp eating contests against people for St. Elmo's. The shrimp sauce, which, by the way, Gunzelman hasn't paid me his bet. But I digress. So anyway, not happy. However, Paige Sporanic, who, well, she would sexualize it to the point where everybody would watch. She wants in on the hot dog eating contest. I'm all for this. I'm available to fill in. My record is 6.5 hot dogs in 10 minutes. I once ate 60 ribs in 10 minutes. I did. I won a rib eating contest right downtown on the Circle in Indianapolis. I did. I beat a bunch of Colts. They said I cheated. No, I didn't. Then I went home, and on the way home, I stopped and got a large Blizzard. If I trained, I could play in this contest, but everything about it's so gross, and I'll tell you what mostly is gross about the hot dog eating contest. It's not the gluttony. It's dipping hot dogs and a bun in the water to eat them faster. That is my problem. That should be illegal. Hey, look, Pablo Torre back in business here. All right. Pablo Torre says, shocker, Adam Silver and his liberal cohorts are not very open-minded. Let me explain. Adam Silver, America's weakest, worst commissioner, and the NBA denied Miriam Adelson the ability to serve as the Mavericks' primary owner or governor because her political reputation is so radioactive. That's right, a.k.a. she is one of the most vocal and financially supportive donors of Donald Trump. It appears Silver, as always, is okay with interjecting politics into the NBA as long as those views align with his very insanely ridiculous liberal views. Well, all right, I guess if that's what we're going to do, then that's what we're going to do. But truth of the matter, who did not know this? When you put Black Lives Matter, on the court. Here's from NBA Central, the Dunk Central. When Miriam Adelson purchased the Mavericks last year, the NBA and Adam Silver did not permit her to serve as the franchise primary owner. Her political reputation was apparently so radioactive. Nobody donated more money to Donald Trump in 2020 than Miriam Adelson. Few people in right-wing politics, period, are as powerful as she is. She looks like Penny Marshall. Come on. Hey, look, one of the best things about being a conservative or a Republican woman is you're hot and you don't have a dick. That's right. So get hot, Miriam. Color the hair, get some glasses, put some makeup on, and get hot. Get on board. Come on. You look like a Democrat there. You look like a liberal that's been camping out. we have an image to portray. That's right, we do. Well, you're sexist. Shut up. Not sexist. I'm telling you what it is. I have to every day look my best. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. The NBA reached out to OutKick, claimed this isn't true, so it remains to be seen. This next story, God, am I all in on this next story. I've told you about this and told you about this and told you about this. NIL, going to current players. If it's NIL, name, image, and likeness, great. If it's pay for play, legalize cheating. However, this is where I draw the line. Sharing money made from media rights. Revenue sharing. Media contracts should go to the people that made the league. Not one player, and I'm just going to use Indiana. And Indiana put any more asses in the seats last year, sold any more jerseys. I mean, you all think jersey sales are a big deal. They're not. Not one Indiana player had anything to do with the Big Ten Network, CBS, Fox, any of NBC, any of the 4 networks covering the league. Their television contracts. You know who did? Isaiah Thomas, national champion. Keith Smart, big shot. Steve Alford, 1976, undefeated team. Those guys are the ones that should be in revenue share. Those guys are the ones, if you're going to actually be fair about this, Slapdick Johnny playing at Indiana, wearing a headband, going, hey, look at me. No, they quit in the NCAA tournament. No, they should get the pay money back. But here's the story I like. North Carolina State, 1983 national champs. The run to the championship in Albuquerque, Jim Valvano, Terry Gannon, Derek Wittenberg, Sidney Lowe, Cozell McQueen, Lorenzo Charles, et al. They put college basketball further on the map, and they want something about it. The basketball players from North Carolina State's 83 national championship team, they're seeking NIL compensation in a new lawsuit. I love this. The same team who pulled off one of the biggest upset in college basketball history beat the Phi Slamma Jamma Houston Cougars in a game that's still played today. Here's what they're doing. More than 40 years later, 10 players who played under the late head coach Jim Valvano filed a lawsuit in Wake County Superior Court in North Carolina on Monday against the NCAA and the Collegiate Licensing Company, seeking compensation for unauthorized use of their name, image, and likeness. They requested a jury trial because they know they'll get a jury of their peers in North Carolina and they'll side with them, and reasonable compensation. Boy, I love this. For more than 40 years, the NCAA and its co-conspirators have systematically and intentionally misappropriated the Cardiac Pact's publicity rights, including name, images, and likenesses associated with that game and that play, reaping scores of millions of dollars from the Cardiac Pact's legendary victory, the lawsuit states. I love this. The suit alleged the student-athletes' value to the NCAA does not end with their graduation. Archival footage and other products constitute an ongoing income stream for the NCAA long after the students whose images are used have moved on from college. Yes, sir. That's right. Now, here's the deal. I played during that era. I don't know if we signed agreements like, hey, everything that you have goes to the school in terms of name, image, and like. I don't know if we did or didn't. That'll be a key point in this. But I'm with you. I am. I don't think I deserve a dime, even though I did kick Michael Jordan's ass. Look it up. But I will tell you this. Guys that did, Bobby Knight, Johnny Orr, they made Indiana and Big Ten basketball. They made the Big Ten relevant. Tom Izzo, 2000, last time the Big Ten won an NCAA title. All these guys been carpetbagging. All these players at Indiana that wear Indiana across the chest and getting all this money, they haven't done shit. And I should say the same, not one player from Northwestern ever deserves a dime in any kind of revenue sharing. Wisconsin players do, but only the recent ones. They were horrible, unless you want to go back to 1939, the first NCAA title won by Wisconsin. Very few, if any, Rutgers players, well, they don't deserve anything. Minnesota, get out of here. Minnesota's been a pox upon the Big Ten. Those players don't deserve squat. Nebraska, yeah, in football, certainly not in basketball. Illinois, get the hell out of here. They had one team that made one run and their coach embarrassed the entire nation with his cheating. Just stop. Michigan State, sure. Magic, Judd, Izzo, no question. Fab Five, I'll give it to you. Johnny Orr, 1976, lost in the national championship game. Cool. But there are very few teams in the Big Ten or players in the Big Ten that deserve a dime. Not even a dime. I would argue that Indiana, which has only had in its history, going back to 19 whatever, has only had 11 Elite Eight teams. I captained one of them. I was a player of the game to beat Michael Jordan. Maybe I deserve something. I don't. Alford does. He had 27. Guys like Alford, Smart, Isaiah, Buckner, Wilkerson, Benson, May, they deserve night. Not these clowns playing right now. Are you out of your mind? But good for North Carolina State. No, great for North Carolina State. I hope more people follow. You know what I'm tired of? I'm tired of the division, black community, white community, and guys like Stephen A. Smith. It's like I went through the entire list of race baiters today. David Dennis Jr., Monica McNutt, and now Stephen A. Smith. Pablo Torre. What a list. Holy hell. Well, Stephen A. Smith says that Will Smith owes an apology to the black community before he will go see his new movie. Really? Huh. Okay. You know, these guys all worry. I've said this for years. People worry about a lot of things. Anybody ever address black-on-black murder crime? Nobody. I get it. Stephen A. Smith wants Will Smith to publicly apologize to the black community. We always have a black community, a white community. Damn. For slapping Chris Rock at the Academy Awards in 2022, insinuating Will Smith wouldn't have slapped Chris Rock if he were white. How about you just shut up? I guarantee you Will Smith would have slapped Chris Rock if he were white, because he was talking about his wife. It's amazing to me the level these guys will go to keep themselves relevant, and I'm helping them. Somewhere along the line, he has to sit down and talk to the black community. Hey, black community, gather up here. He doesn't have to do nothing. Certainly doesn't have to do nothing that a screaming idiot on a sports talk show says for him to do. You can all see all the white people around Will Smith all you want to, all right? Black folks have loved and revered this man for decades. He was the closest thing to perfection, and his friend Charlie Mack once told me everyone makes a mistake. This is not hatred. I love Will Smith, but you got to have a conversation as to why you did that. Yeah, he was talking about his wife, dumbass. Honest to God. I mean, if these clowns didn't have to make up race, they would not have a damn thing. We know you wouldn't have slapped Ricky Gervais, Bill Maher, Bill Burr, or a host of others. We know you wouldn't have done that. No apology necessary. I'm just saying a lot of folks ain't get over that. He tries so hard to get down, doesn't he? A lot of folks just find it hard to go to the movies and watch it. One of those people, I never missed a Will Smith movie. Yeah, well, miss it. Be all right. Again, I tell you this all the time. If you're going to be mad, go sit in the corner. No, you're mad. It's like I used to tell my kids about my wife. Hey, look, you guys are mad. Go over there. Let me know when you're not mad. No problem. I don't want to go to a Will Smith movie. Okay. Don't go. Why doesn't he have to tell the white community he's sorry? A lot of white people put that event on. I mean, why is it always got to be one? Why doesn't he just tell people why he did it? Why doesn't he just tell the country, or if that's such a big deal? Personally, I don't think he's got to say shit. Personally, I think he would have slapped Ricky Gervais. Well, Gervais is big and seems not to care. If somebody was as teeny tiny as Chris Rock and he knew Will Smith very well, which apparently Rock did, I promise you he would have slapped him. I mean, what the hell is wrong with you? But we got to all of a sudden have a conversation with the black community. What are you, nuts? See, again, I get what Smith's doing, not Will, Stephen A. I get what he's doing. He's trying to get down. He's trying to be the leader. He's trying to be a force. He's trying to move things in his direction. I'm the leader of the black community, so you got to do what I say, and you got to have a conversation with us. And then he waits for all the sycophants that hang around him to go, yeah, Yeah, that's what you got to do. Yeah. I'm like, shut up. You don't have to have a conversation with nobody. Don't go to his movie. You don't like it? Don't go. I haven't been to the movies in a long time, and I'm not planning to go. I will watch it when it comes out on Netflix. But why do I want to go to a movie and listen to some big fat slob crunching popcorn when I can sit and be the big fat slob crunching popcorn at my old house? That's it. I don't want to hear it. Get away from me. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it at all. But apparently everybody's supposed to apologize. We all got to apologize because, wow, Will Smith did this shot the living hell up. Got a lot. We're talking about guns. Hey, anybody got Mike Gunzelman's number? I haven't been paid my debt, Nick. He owes me some cheesecake and he owes me some pizza. He cut his hair a little. I thought you New York guys, he always says, us New York guys pay our bets. He didn't pay his bet. What's he doing?
Well, didn't he relocate to didn't he relocate to Nashville? Isn't that where he lives now? He lives in Nashville. So he's not really like a true New Yorker if he relocated. So maybe that kind of stayed. Maybe he kind of stayed with him in New York. His real New York tendencies.
Interesting. We're going to talk about while we wait for Guns to pay his bet whether or not. Well, hey, if you were Danny Hurley, Nick,
okay,
and he's going to get free wings, and we're going to talk about it. What food would you want free for the rest of your life?
That's a good question. Pizza, maybe. Mozzarella sticks. Those are the first two that come to mind. Yo, what the hell?
What was this? Look at there.
Look at that.
Look at Eminem. The music, the moment you want. No. All right.
That's
Is
me
it a
in
big
Colombia.
deal to New Yorkers that Aaron Rodgers isn't at training camp? Is that a big deal to New Yorkers?
Maybe to some New Yorkers, but I don't really care because I know at the end of the day he's going to get the job done. He's serious about football. He could have retired after his injury last year. He could have just hung it up and said, "Screw it, just take the other half of the money you owe me and just put it towards something else." But he's serious about staying. I don't think that it's a big deal that he's missing. Everybody knows what type of quarterback he is. So I guarantee you some people are stressing it, but I could care less.
You're paying a guy $40 million. NFL players don't even want to play games. I mean, They don't want to practice. They don't want OTAs. They don't want to do this. They don't want to do that. I mean, you play on Sunday. You don't practice till Wednesday. Damn, all the while, my Uncle Jerry went to the steel mill, worked in a blast furnace for 51 years. Huh.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. Jeez. Giving me a headache. Anyway.
Culture's changed.
All right. Yeah, just show up. You're paying you $40 million. You can show up. If you got an event, move the event. Pretty simple. I'm not mad about it. I don't care about it, but it's just like one of these deals where you go, what the hell?
Yeah,
Show
I
up.
understand it on that. I understand it on that point. You're getting paid so much money. It's just like, you got one thing to do. Show up. Be punctual. I get that.
Show up.
Yeah.